eventually Tesla, I think, will have to leave China because they're getting screwed by Chinese brands. And this is something, there was actually basically the General Motors just released
good segue.
their numbers saying that they were going to do like a $5 billion write down of their. I don't know what this means exactly for the shareholders, but they had lost $350 million in just the first 3 quarters of this year in China, because what happened is, like, they went to China in, like, I think 1990 or somewhere in there, and they, oh yeah, come to China, you can make your cars real cheap, blah blah blah. You can sell to 1.4 billion people who are all going to buy General Motors for sure. Don't worry about it. Just come on in.
Who will all have disposable income,
Right.
sure.
And so they go in and they make money. They make money.
China had a huge car boom in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Right.
Yeah, when they went from, like, basically, you see the videos of Beijing and it's all bicycles.
Yeah,
Right.
even when I was in China in 97, like,
It was
a
Beijing
lot
was
of bicycles.
mostly. They had
a lot of bicycles. And most people did not have a driver's license or know how to drive. So it really changed in the first decade of the 2000s.
I've seen some videos of driving in China. I would still say a lot of people don't know how to
there's
drive.
just not like a long driving culture.
Right.
That is
like
true.
when you don't learn, like, safety and car culture from your parents, you're kind of, it's not as easy to do that. But so my point about GM is, like, they peaked in, like, 2018, and they've been on the decline in terms of sales because their technology, and this is going to come as a big surprise, was stolen by Chinese, essentially state-owned or state-controlled companies, and their whole thing about stealing. Everybody, this happens to everybody. It happened to Tesla, although Tesla actually made it publicly available. But all of these technologies for cars have now been picked up by Chinese companies, and there's at one point more than 100 different Chinese car manufacturers, and they're all ripping off American and European technology. And now the Chinese Communist Party is trying to make sure that the cars sold in China to Chinese people are primarily the Chinese brands.
And then they're also trying to now take over the worldwide electric vehicle market,
The
right?
CCP was never going to let foreign companies dominate their market for any period of time for any product.
Yeah.
That was never something that they were going to be okay with.
And it's like you see this in industry after industry after industry, and yet new industries keep going in. Like Hollywood was a late entry into this, right? But essentially now what happened to Hollywood in the last 5 years, the CCP is restricting a lot of their movies in favor of domestic movies, where they learned how to make movies from Hollywood productions, doing these co-productions with Chinese production companies, moving in, and now they've built these giant studios in China. They don't need Hollywood anymore.
Right. I mean, the plus side of Hollywood getting completely screwed by China is that I've seen in the last, like, 2 years or so, some movies and TV shows especially that are like the baddie for that episode or whatever is like a Chinese agent or something.
Where you would definitely, we
You would
remember
have not
when
seeing it. You would not see that between, like, 2008 and 2020.
the whole Red Dawn thing, right, where they digitally replaced all of the Chinese baddies with North Korean ones.
There was an
DPRK.
old, I think it was an X-Files episode with a young Lucy Liu that had, like, organ harvesting in Chinatown.
In the U.S.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's just, I don't think that would be something that would get made now.
There is, I think it's Dean Koontz. There's a Dean Koontz book from the 2010s that talks about organ harvesting in China.
Well, there was the World War Z by
Oh yeah.
Mel
No,
Brooks' son. I
but
can't
like
remember
this
his name.
entire book, like it was about this,
like
somebody.
state-run organ harvesting.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
I think,
I do vaguely remember that book. Yeah,
but like I've never read the book, but I do like. I think like there's a character who's a Chinese dissident who gets their organs harvested.
Wow.
yeah.
But
So, at any rate, no foreign company that has gone into China uh, has like they've all either gotten screwed already or they're in the process of that, like in being replaced by domestic brands, because the CCP's whole thing is technology theft. And what do? You don't steal technology for no reason. You steal it because you plan to use it.
Well, again,
for
like
your
with
own.
Tesla, it's publicly available. But the goal, because there is no private sector, it's all controlled by the state. And the state, the CCP, their goal is to undermine and destroy the Western world order, to undermine and destroy the U.S. And they don't want to just compete normally with foreign companies. They want to ultimately destroy them. So it's a China-led world.
Well, the CCP doesn't think about competition the way that the U.S. does. Like Americans value the free market because we value the exchange of ideas. We value the idea that in a free market, companies that serve customers best will perform better, and that minimal government interference is better for the market. It's better for small business. It's better for all the sorts of things. Whereas the Chinese Communist Party doesn't look at the free market as being good. They look at the free market as something they can take advantage of so they can dominate.
Yeah, it's their main goal. This is the political warfare thing. Their goal is to win a war and defeat their enemies.
Right.
Which means GM, Tesla, the United States.